I know, guys, when you think about Temu, anyway, I don't know the correct pronunciation. I'm sure you are thinking about very cheap gadgets, very long shipping time. This is almost true, but not always, because today I'm gonna show you 10, actually they are more than 10, but 10 is a great title, gadgets for guitars. And before starting the review, let me say that the shipping time is very, very fast with Temu, I don't know, because it takes only 10 days. And this is due to the fact that I think that Temu ships by air, so not by boat, okay? So the shipping was really, really fast, and actually with the gadgets that I receive, they are exactly the same as described in the title, in the ad, and they are really cheap, but some are really, really good and really helpful. So I've selected 10 gadgets, more than 10 gadgets, to show you, and I think that could be really cool for beginners guitarists, but also for advanced guitarists that don't want to spend too much money. And some other gadgets are really, really cool. Also, not only for guitarists. So the first tool that you need to play guitar is basically a guitar pick. And here I've selected really cool guitar pick that, as you can see, will light up with the movement. They are from PICKPAL, as you can see. They are really, really thick, but guys, these are really cool. You can find the color in, as you can see, this is in fuchsia. You have this one in green and this one in white. So really, really cool. So when you're playing, basically is like an app. Really cool to play with these in a dark room. So when you are in a stage playing guitar live, really, really cool. The next gadget is a guitar pedal, because all we guitarists need pedals, and basically with only this pedal, this is the M-Wave Mini Universe, is basically a wet signal pedal, so you can find a reverb, delay, and so on and so forth. Basically with one really tiny pedal, as you can see, it's really, really tiny compared to my hand. You have a lot of effects at really cheap price, guys. So as you can see, we find a room, hole, plate, spring, shimmer, cloud, bloom, swell, and lo-fi effect. You can change the parameter 1 and parameter 2 and parameter 3 that I think that will change accordingly to the preset that you will choose. And well, let's listen how it sounds. The next gadget, well, the next tool is for beginners, because are shoes for your fingers. Have you ever tried out this one? Well, this is the first time I try out shoes for my fingers. Well, actually, I never thought about this, but I always seen some ads that were really funny, basically on the internet, and actually they are pretty good and they works pretty well. I think that this version is a bit too much, because I really thick and probably is too much for your finger if you want to be really smooth on your guitar. As you can see here, you have different colors and each color corresponds to a different size. So you have 4 different sizes for your fingers. As you can see, the little finger, I don't know the correct name in English. Anyway, the yellow is the smallest one that you can find. But if this is too much for you, so if it's too thick for you, and this is too thick for me, you can also exchange this with another type that basically is another gadget, but let's do the same. This is the same type, so 4 different kind of, let's say, shoes for your finger, but you have to choose the size. So as you can see, I've chosen the M size, and they are really, really thin, like a film, as you can see. So really, really thin, and when you wear it, basically it's like you are not listening that you are wearing this kind of cover of your finger. As you can see, it's like a glove, so almost you cannot see it, but they works really, really great. Now let's move to more useful tools for everyone, every guitarist. Well, especially for guitarists that play blues kind of genre, well, I strongly suggest you these 2 slides. These are 2 different slides. One is in, I don't know, nickel, let me say, iron, I don't know, and this one is in glass. I never try out kind of glass. It's also called acrylic, but it's not acrylic, it's glass, and I never try out glass slides, so I purchased the 2 versions. Let's listen the differences with the 2 different materials. This is probably the coolest gadget and coolest looking gadget that I purchased from Temu. This is a Capo, and look at this, it's amazing. This is a shark shape in gold, as you can see. Really, really cool, because these are all the teeth of the shark, and these are really, really smooth. So these are made of rubber to not ruin your guitar. And let me say, I always searched about Capo that works really great. They keep tight all the strings. Sometimes I used Capo also from really known brand that were not really good. This works really great, really like a charm, and it can really fit very well every kind of neck. And also, if you see it, it seems that is also smiling. Ha 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 ha. Really cool. Now let's talk about the gadget that every guitarist needs if play live and if play not sit down. Well, a guitar strap, right? As you can see, this is a really cool guitar strap. I've not opened it yet because I wanted to show you this writing here. It's the first time that I can read proudly made in China. This is really funny. Anyway, this is really cool. Let me open it. It smells like plastic, so it's not pure leather, of course. Anyway, it's really thick, guys. Really smooth and really thick. Have a look. It looks really, really cool. I like it. I like it a lot. And also the brand here, really great. I leave the link in the description for this guitar strap. Really, really cool. Now let's talk about something different, something that is not really into guitar environment. Let's talk about the bow. The bow is basically a tool for violins, for cello, and if you want, you can also get similar sound with your acoustic guitar. Not electric guitar, acoustic guitar. Why not electric guitars? Because the bow is this one, let me show you. And when you receive this bow, it's really cool because is everything packed really, really well. The bow is inside a really smooth leather suitcase, let's say. And this is the bow. So as you can see, this is really, really short. These are real horse hairs, guys, in two sides. And you have also here a guitar pick. So really, really cool, really well made. This is made by PICKPAL. And you receive also a cloth here to clean your guitar. And you receive, this is really important, a sandpaper here. As you can see, is already used because I try out this bow. And why a sandpaper? Well, actually, I didn't know about this thing, but actually to use the bow, you need the so-called rosin. Rosin is basically this sort of thing, is actually, I don't know. This is from 𝙎𝙚, rosin for violin, viola and cello. I don't know what is it, but actually is looking like this. So this is the rosin. And you need to put this sort of material on your bow. So this does not come with this short bow for guitar, and actually I didn't know, so I had to purchase separately the rosin. I'll link in the description also the rosin. And this is really good rosin. There are different kind of hardness. So this is light rosin. How to use it? Well, basically you have to ruin your rosin because it's really gloss when you purchase it. You have to ruin with the sandpaper, like this. Okay, you have to do that maybe in a circle, like this, as you can see. So you have to ruin the surface, and then when you see this white color, basically, on the surface, and you can see also the white here on the paper, okay, you have to use gently your bow on the rosin, like this, because you have to spray all the rosin on the bow, on all the two sides, okay? And then your bow is ready to be used and can really create sort of friction and sound with your acoustic guitar. Why I say only acoustic guitar? Well, actually because this has to be used to go inside the hole. So you need an acoustic guitar that has the hole in the middle, okay? Let's listen to the sound that you can get with this guitar bow. Really cool, right? So now let's move to a maintenance toolkit. I can talk about these two together even if they are separated tool. This is a so-called rust eliminator, avoid any rust. This is basically a double tool. On one side you have this light color, white. You can also push it more. And this smells really good. Basically it's like a lubricant for your strings, while on the other side we have this sort of material. This is really hard, and as you can see is also cutted in a way to basically work on your strings, and this is to avoid any rust. So if your string is not smooth enough, you can use this to clean the strings and to remove any rust. And then with the other side you can make shine your strings. This is really cool for maintenance your strings, especially to have strings that last for very long time. This is really cool. The other tool is a tool to clean basically your strings periodically, maybe to clean all the sweat. This is really cool. As you can see is basically a really smooth cloth, and you have to open it. You have to fit one side under the strings, the other side over the strings, and you have to move gently to basically clean the strings from any kind of rust and so on and so forth. So really cool tool for maintaining your strings. Now, all these tools are for your guitars, but hey, you have to know how to play guitars, and maybe you have to practice with your guitars. Sometimes it's also really hard to play some chord because you have a really small hand, you cannot stretch too much. Well, there is this tool, guys. This is a tool to stretch your fingers. As you can see, there are these screws, so you can move these rings. And basically, how to use this? Well, you have not to use this while you're playing. Before you're playing, you basically place your fingers inside. You have to go all the way down, and as you can see, you have to create this sort of arc, okay? So now my fingers are really stretched. You can also move it as you want to stretch more, and this is basically the kind of exercise that you have to do to stretch your fingers. Maybe you have to do this 5 minutes, 10 minutes before playing. Trust me, this is really useful. Can be really strange, I know, but this can help you a lot. Warning, this can be really painful at the beginning, especially if you place too large these rings. So I suggest you to start with very short length here from any rings, and then you can enlarge. You can also move it by hand if you don't tight too much. Basically, after 10 minutes, you can see that your fingers are wider than before, as you can see. So it really helps you to stretch a bit your fingers. And lastly, but not least, a tool that I wanted to try out the first time I've seen it on Spain Got Talent, I think, is the TV program, and it's basically the Otamatone. This is a really cool tool. It's for funny things and for creative people, because this tool is incredibly difficult to play. Actually, for me, it's really difficult to play. You can find different kind of shape. This is a whale, as you can see. And how to use this Otamatone? Well, on the rear, you can choose 3 different range. The low range, which is basically this one, from... This is low range, mid range, and the high range. So basically here is all touch. You have here written the scale, so from 1 to 7. So this is basically a touch keyboard. And you can do also some vibrato. And you have also the mouth that you can use, basically to close to just a bit open. It does not open really too much, but you can create sort of thing. Or you can go lower. Or very high. Okay? But it's very difficult to play, guys. So all these gadgets, you have the link in the description if you're interested to purchase. Some gadgets are really fun to play, some gadgets are for maintenance, and some others are for everyone that wants to enjoy the guitar world. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.